As you can see here in this video, these bows that the Indians are holding are made of wood that they made themselves. These Indians only wear clothes to cover some of their legs because material is very limited. These bows are used for war and for hunting to support their families. These bows did the job for the Indians until they were encountered by the white men, as they called them, who had far more superior weapons. The white men, as called by the Indians, came with newer and more improved weapons. They had muzzle-loading pistols and rifles. The only problem with these was you had to reload the gun each time after firing. To reload, you had to pour gunpowder down the barrel, then you had to have a piece of cloth with the ball over it and push it down the barrel. Once that is done, you are ready to fire and continue the battle. The next big weapon to come around was the M1 Grand Rifle produced in World War II. This was a bolt-action rifle that was very easy to reload. This gun was widely used in long-distance and sniping situations. It was used for this because it wasn't the fastest shooting weapon at the time, but was the most accurate. Therefore, it was great for snipers who could pick off enemies from a long distance. The next big improvement in the weapons industry came when the Winchester rifle was produced in 1895. This was an improvement because you no longer had to reload after each shot. All you had to do was pull the lever located underneath the trigger and push it back up, and the rifle was loaded and ready to fire. This was great in battle because you could fire more shots in a shorter amount of time. The most vital and deadliest weapon deployed by the U.S. military at the time in modern war is the AC-130U gunship. This plane holds the largest aerial weapon ever to see the battlefield. This weapon is the 105 howitzer. It has a 40mm cannon shooting 120 rounds per minute, a 25mm GAU-12 Gatling gun shooting 1800 rounds per minute, and a 105mm M102 howitzer that shoots 6 to 10 rounds per minute. This is where modern technology has taken us in the field of weapons.
From the beginning of time, humans have always been attracted to the thought of war. It is our nature to be more powerful than our counterpart. So therefore, we tend to compete with one another, even if it has to come down to bloodshed. Over time, we have become more creative and thoughtful in the way we fight against each other. The First Wave War occurred during our agricultural stage. This war form is based on poorly organized, poorly equipped, and poorly led armies that engage in seasonal fighting. Orders are verbal, and the nature of killing is face-to-face. First wave civilizations engaged in this form of war range from classical Greece and feudal Europe to ancient China, thus leading into the new phase of warfare, industrial. The second generation was a response to the rifle musket, breech loaders, barbed wire, machine gun, and indirect fire. Tactics remained essentially linear, even though fire and movement now became common as troops dispersed laterally. Mass firepower replaced mass manpower as indirect fire began to dominate the battlefield. Those tactics consisted of trench warfare, which is a form of occupied fighting lines consisting largely of trenches, in which troops are significantly protected from the enemy's small arms and are substantially sheltered from artillery. Another type of warfare is chemical warfare. Chemical warfare was also introduced during this time period. Poison gas and napalm, which is an incendiary fuel used in the Vietnam War to flank out bunkers and shelters. Another type of warfare in the Second Wave War is maneuver warfare. This type of warfare involves strategic movements that focus on the destruction of enemy targets and strong points such as command control centers, logistical bases, and fire assets. Infiltration tactics by conventional special operations forces such as the U.S. Army and Marines may be used extensively to cause chaos and confusion behind enemy lines. Finally, we've reached the current type of warfare, the Third Wave War, which is based on knowledge and ideas. This emerging war form is based on a new economy that is information-driven. Precision-guided missiles, robots, non-lethal technology such as smoke bombs, and computer viruses are all viewed as attributes of the Third Wave War. Also, another key aspect of the Third Wave War is terrorism, which bypasses traditional military forces and directly strikes at a nation's civilian population. It is also viewed as a major component of warfare. Since most terrorists are revolutionists, it makes them extremely difficult to attack. Ultimately, This form of warfare is extremely unpredictable and effective. As you can see, there's been many different types of warfare throughout history, but as our society progresses, so will our technology, thus leading to new types of warfare, which all in all can push our countries into a third world war.
There is always a new type of advancements in warfare. The military always wants to come up with something new to make it easier to kill a large amount of people at once. The military started research teams to make advancements on weapons used in previous wars. Most of the technology we have today was from the military research. For example, microwaves and GPS were first used in the military. GPS was used to target a specific area and hit only the people that they want. Microwaves came from the radio transmitters used in the military in World War I. My grandfather was an atomic war veteran, and he tested the atomic bombs in a desert. He said that it was hard because he had to wear special glasses so the high intensity of the light wouldn't blind him. There was also radiation poisoning that they could be exposed to, and after the test they had to get checked out to make sure that they didn't get any radiation poisoning. As they make one invention, another idea for another invention comes along. They also made inventions to protect us from new advancements that are coming out in the world. They invented lasers to hit missiles that other countries might use to hit our nation. The United States military is still advancing in warfare and is never going to stop because they always want to be on top of the social status.